If I wanted to, I have a data set, and I showed you at the very top is a link to where you can look at those. All right, so this first column, this is the age of everybody in the class. And so if I wanted to get the standard deviation of everybody, and I wanted to consider that a population, for instance, then what I would do is I would do summary stats columns, and I'm going to pick age. All right, and if I do that, it has a standard deviation here. This happens to be the sample standard deviation. So S is 1.8949. Now, if I wanted to treat this like a population, and I wanted to get the population standard deviation, I have to go down here. So it has this list of statistics is calculated, but if you go down below here, it's got this unadjusted standard deviation. And if I hit Control click, it'll put that on the end of that list of statistics. So sigma is 1.886. And I had already pasted this on your page. So here is sigma. This standard deviation, this guy is S. So this is this. So if we're thinking this is a sample of n little, if this is little n 104, this is the standard deviation of n observations in the sample. This guy that I added, sigma, this is the standard deviation of capital N observations in the population. So depending on how you would treat this, if you can say this is everybody, then this is sigma. All right, so it says here, if you consider them the population, then we're going to use sigma equals 1.886. All right, so we can group these. So when I do my statistics here, I've got declared as a separate variable, so I can group by that variable. So I can do this where this group by is. I do group by declared. So I'm going to take statistics of age, but it's going to break it up into two groups. So now you can see, here's my standard deviation for those who didn't declare versus those who did. And that's what's down here. So if we consider those two subsets of the population, we said those are samples, and I would say, oh, okay, we've got S for the one group and S for the other group. All right, so also, if this was the population up here, this mean, I would call this mu. So mu equals 19.106 because we're considering it the population. Down here, if we consider them samples, all right, my sample means are going to be X1, so I'm going to have, or X bar, so I'm going to call the top one X1 bar. This is 17.95 years old. X2 bar, second one, and this is 19.37 years. And then S1, the standard deviation, this is the one for not declared. This is 0.705, and again, I use S and X1 bar and X bar because it's a sample. All right, so this is 0.705, S2 is 1.981. So you can see that the standard deviation for this guy, this is larger. So I have a larger spread for the declared in ages than I have for the spread of those who didn't.